In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to add a user to an Azure SQL database or Azure SQL Server. Before we dive in, it's crucial to cover a few prerequisites to ensure a smooth process. Firstly, you need to connect as the server admin or as an Azure Active Directory admin for the SQL Server or master database. It's essential to have the appropriate permissions to create logins and users, as well as assign roles. You'll also need to determine which authentication method you plan to use. This could either be SQL authentication, which requires a login and password, or Azure Active Directory, also known as Microsoft Entra ID. Finally, make sure that your Azure SQL Server's firewall and network settings allow your client connection and verify that you can establish a connection to the database. Now that we've covered the preliminaries, let's move on to the steps for adding a user. We'll examine two common methodologies, starting with SQL authentication. Begin by connecting to the master database of your Azure SQL Server using your admin credentials. Once connected, create a login using a command such as create login, new login, with password equals strong password 23. Ensure that your password is strong and meets the security requirements. Next, switch over to the target database, the one where the user will require access, bearing in mind that it shouldn't be the master database. With the target database active, create a user that maps to the login you've just created by executing create user, new user for login, new login, with default schema equals DBO. Finally, assign the necessary database roles to this user. Common roles include DB Data Reader and DB Data Writer, which you can assign with commands such as alter role, DB Data Reader, ADD member, new user, and alter role, DB Data Writer, ADD member, new user. For those of you opting for Azure AD, or Microsoft Entra authentication using contained users, the process is a bit different. First, ensure your Azure SQL Server is configured with an Azure Active Directory admin. Then, go straight to the target database and use a command like create user, user@domain.com, from external provider with default schema equals DBO. Assign roles using commands similar to alter role db data reader add d member user@domain.com, as per your needs. In some cases, you may need to grant higher privileges or server roles to the user or login. Azure SQL's logical servers have specific roles such as DB Manager and Login Manager for these tasks. After setting up your login in the master database, you can assign these roles to the user through commands like alter role login manager add member new login and alter role DB manager add member new login. And there you have it, a straightforward method to add users to your Azure SQL database or server, tailored to your authentication preferences and access requirements.